I have so much newness from Dior Beauty to show you today. They just launched their spring collection and we're going to be applying several of these pieces to my face in natural light with no filters. I have their newest foundation, 2 of the new Lilac luminizers, and 1 of the new eyeshadow palettes. So if you want to hear my completely honest thoughts and hang out with me today, then keep watching. All right, I'm fresh-faced and we're going to kick things off with an application of the new Dior Forever Hydra Nude foundation. This also just launched for spring, and according to the Dior website, this is supposed to be a medium coverage foundation with lots of hydration. I think it said 48 hours of hydration. We'll see about that. And it's also infused with hyaluronic acid. Now, this is not going to be a full comprehensive review. This is very much just going to be a first impression. I just got this in the mail, but I figured I'd show you guys, the coverage, the finish, and then perhaps you can add it to your wish list if it sounds like it's good for you, and I can update you once I have tested this for a couple of weeks. I am really curious to see if this is going to be medium coverage because it kind of looks a little bit more like a skin tint, but we shall see. The packaging is very, very beautiful. It's pretty much almost exact to the Dior Forever Skin Glow, except the cap is a different color, but it has the same luxurious feel, the same weight to it. And I got the shade 1.5 neutral. We'll see how this goes. This might be a little bit more of like a summer shade for me. It doesn't have a particularly runny texture, but I did notice that once I spread it out, it has a really nice glossy, slightly watery finish. I think it said on the website that this is made with 70% water, kind of like the Chantecaille Future Skin foundation that I like so much. I don't know, I think this shade might work well. So I'm just patting this on with my IT Cosmetics brush. I will link all these products in the description box down below, along with the brushes that I use. Everything is gonna be in the description box. I'm actually surprised how much that covered. I am filming this, by the way, if you're new here, in natural light with no filters. I don't use anything. This is my skin. I do have rosacea. I do have some freckles, some hyperpigmentation. So we'll see if one coat is going to cover all of that. When I first put it on my face, it does have a nice light kind of cooling sensation, and I do smell quite a bit of fragrance. If you're familiar with the other Dior perfumes, it's the same exact fragrance. And honestly, I kind of wish they would remove it. I don't really like the fragrance, but I put up with fragrance in my foundations if I really like the foundation. I think that looks pretty nice. Comment down below and let me know what you think. I'm actually kind of shocked, number 1, that the color isn't too dark, and number 2, that it covered that much, because it has a very nice lightweight feel to it. I'm just gonna get it on half my face so we can get a fair before and after. Okay, so here's before, and then here is after. I would love to know what you think. I think it looks great. I mean, I've only had it on my face, or half of my face, for 2 seconds, but I think it's a really beautiful finish. It's not super dewy. I was kind of thinking it would be more like a super light, dewy, glossy skin tint, but I'm not really getting that. It's a little bit more of like a hydrated, natural finish. And I would say that the main difference, just from experience using the Forever Skin Glow, is that this feels a little bit more lightweight, which, especially as I get older, is very much welcomed. So that's the biggest difference that I noticed just upon first impressions. Let's get this on the rest of my face and we will see how it looks overall. Now, one of the complaints that I was hearing in the comments on social media about this foundation is that a lot of people felt like there weren't enough shades, and I was thinking maybe that's because it's going to be more of like a skin tint. But now that I'm seeing how much coverage this gives, I kind of have to agree. Like, the first 3 or 4 shades in the range are all neutral, which I guess is good for me because I normally choose neutral or maybe neutral warm. But I know a lot of you were like, I'm cool or I'm warm, which one should I choose? I feel like they went with neutral, maybe to kind of like make it more universal. But when you take a look at the swatches, I don't understand how you could call all of those neutral, because you're obviously seeing different tones, different undertones, not just a difference in like the darkness and lightness of the tones. So I really feel like they need to do a better job of describing the shades. Okay, so here's the foundation fully applied. I just took a look in the mirror a second ago so I could see it up close, and I think it looks amazing. I think it's a nice balance between looking hydrated but not too greasy and slimy. And as you saw, it was very fuss-free to apply. No streaks or anything like that. I think if you're normal to dry, this would be great for you. If you have combo skin, I think you could very easily powder this. I don't really use a lot of setting powder, but if you do have combo skin, I think you could easily powder this just to get the kind of, you know, perfect look all over the face that you want. So far, so good. I will do a little bit of a wear test today just to see if it stays looking nice, obviously, and then I will update you throughout the month after I use this for a couple of weeks straight. But so far, I think it looks really good. I think it's like a nice, fresh, lightweight, hydrating foundation for the spring and summer. Well, hello, it is me, and it is 8 hours later. This is the wear test check-in. It is almost 11 o'clock, so I feel like I did a pretty good job. And actually, I think that this foundation looks amazing after 8 hours of wear. Please ignore my nose because I definitely went like this a couple times and wiped all the foundation off. And this lighting is very, very unflattering and I look a little bit shinier than I actually am. But you can see the foundation has not worn off and I don't have any dry patches. There's maybe a little bit right there that's like getting a little bit dry, just like right in that little chin crevice. But other than that, like right here, oh, looks so smooth, it looks so nice. So far, I'm really impressed with this foundation. It is not as radiant and glowy and super moisturizing as the new foundation stick. This is gonna be for those of you out there who maybe you kind of liked the natural look or idea of the foundation stick, but it was just way too moisturizing, maybe even a little bit too like greasy for you. You might want to check this out. I think it's really, really beautiful. So I just wanted to let you know after 8+ hours how it's looking. I think it looks really great. Oh, and by the way, if you happen to be enjoying this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And if you are new here, maybe consider subscribing to my channel. My name is Sophia and I upload new videos every single week focusing on everyday makeup and accessible luxury styles. So if that is your jam, hit that subscribe button to join our fam. We seriously would love to have you. So I just did the rest of my makeup off camera so we can move on to the eyeshadows and the highlighters. I did my brows. I used the Dior Forever Concealer, one of my favorites, on my under eyes, but not on the rest of my complexion because again, we're testing the foundation. And then I did a very light dusting of the Dior Forever Natural Bronze, and this is in the shade 004 Tan Bronze. This is the shade that I recommend if you are my complexion. Next up, I'm gonna be creating an eye look with this palette right here. There are two in this collection and they are both very, very pastel, but I decided to choose this one. It is 812 Pinkmania. I will show you some daylight swatches and close-ups of this palette. It is going to be a mixture of a matte baby pink. We have a sparkling mint green, a sparkling baby yellow, a soft satin lavender, and a matte rose. And I will say right off the bat, this is somewhat different to the pastel glow that we saw last year from Dior. I'll just show you a little side by side here. Some of the colors match up, but I think the biggest difference is the formula. I will show you a side by side of the swatches right here so you can see the difference. The pastel glow has more of a smooth baked formula. All of the colors are like this soft, shimmering, very smooth satin, whereas the shades in this palette, they have different formulas. So like I said, the pink and the rose, it's a true matte. These two colors right here, the mint and the yellow, they're more of like a slight sparkle, and then the lavender is like a true smooth satin. So just kind of keep that in mind. Really just depends on your personal preference, but we're about to find out right now how these apply to my eyelids. I'm going to start off this look with the satin lavender shade. This is the one in the palette that is kind of like that classic soft Dior type of formula. I feel like this color looks a lot lighter and brighter than it does in the pan. Like it looks kind of muted right there, but when you swatch it and when it applies to the eye, it does look very much like a true lavender. And that's a really nice shade. I feel like this could just all over the eye, one and done. I feel like that would look very beautiful. Looks very smooth. I'm not getting any of that, you know, dryness that I sometimes get from the reformulated Dior shadows. Next, I'm gonna go into that light baby pink. When I was swatching this, I was surprised how pigmented it was. It actually does show up very well on my hand, but let's see how it shows up on my eyelid. It's there, but it is kind of blending in with the lilac, which isn't a bad thing. I thought maybe more of like a bright matte inner corner could look kind of cool and sweet. I'm gonna take the shimmering yellow in the center and I'm gonna use this as an inner corner highlight. This doesn't have as much of a base. It's a little bit more of like, I don't want to say a topper, because a topper makes it sound like there's really no opacity to it. There's a little bit of opacity to it, but it's very sheer. It's more for adding a little bit of lightness and brightness. See that? So that's the before. And that is the after. That's very pretty. I'm thinking of doing the mint green on the lower lash line, but I think before I do that, I might put the mint green on, or I will put the mint green on the center of the lid just to see what it looks like. Yes, it just kind of ties those two colors together beautifully with like a little bit of contrast. Okay, that's nice. All right, so let's put a little bit of that on the lower lash line. It's gonna be very light. See, it doesn't pop all that much. It's not like, whoa, mint green. It's more of like a frost. I think that the lavender would be the best shade for the lower lash line formula-wise, but I did sort of just want to see if this would brighten things up. And while I think it looks good, I think that if I had more fine lines under there, I'm not so sure that I would put something that had a little bit of glitter there underneath the lower lash line. I think I would use the baby pink or the lavender, but I still think it looks okay. You let me know what you think. And then moment of truth, is the matte shade going to give me the pink eye look? We shall see. It did seem more of like a rose as opposed to a salmon. I'm gonna use this little detail brush. This is the Sonia G Soft Definer, and I'm going to build it up. I'm just adding this to the outer corner to add a little bit of depth, because this is really the only shade that's gonna give you any depth in this palette. I think if you have a deeper skin tone, you definitely will have these pop. I'm not sure about this. It's pretty pigmented though, so I think you could use it as like a highlighter shade. This one, I don't know. It definitely gives me enough depth, and I think the tone is okay. I might switch to this Rephr number 14 to get a little bit more of like a soft blend. I would love to know, does it look like pink eye or does it look cute? Because so far I think I like the way that that looks. I do think that this shade is blending very nicely. I'm not getting any like dry patchiness or whatever, so that's good. The formula so far of all these seems to be really nice. When I placed my order, I got a little sample of this Dior Show Iconic Over Curl Mascara. So I'm just gonna do a quick little 2 coats of this baby. All right, and here is the final look with the Pinkmania eyeshadow palette. Comment down below and let me know what you think. I think overall it is a very beautiful palette. If you're not into pastels, obviously don't get this. If you're not into pink, don't get this, because these two matte shades, they really add a lot of pink character to the palette, and it's going to come out looking rather pink, even though you have these other like softer shades in there. But I do like the contrast of the mattes with the shimmery shades and the beautiful silky lavender. This one is such a beautiful one and done, and you definitely don't have to use all 5 shades to get a beautiful look. I can see myself using just these two together, just these two together, just these two together. Like, there's a lot of really beautiful spring looks that you can create with this palette. Do I like this one better than the Pastel Glow? I definitely, going into this, thought I was gonna like the Pastel Glow more, and now I like them just the same. But if I didn't have this YouTube channel, I don't think I would have purchased this, because I think that if you have the Pastel Glow, you can create very similar looks. Furthermore, if you have the Chanel Delice palette from, I think it was like 2 springs ago, a lot of these shades are similar as well. So really think about how many new shades are you getting for your money when you're purchasing this. I think this palette did so well that a lot of other brands are like, maybe we'll make a similar palette and it will sell out just like Chanel Delice. So kind of keep that in mind, look in your collection. But overall, I think it's really cute. I actually like it a lot more than I thought I would. And this is something that I think I could easily reach for on a regular basis in the springtime when I'm in the mood for this kind of look. And finally, we have, of course, the lilac highlighters. Lilac has been such a popular color over the past year, and Dior has given us not one, but 2 lilac highlighters, or luminizers, whatever you want to call them, as a part of this collection. You guys have been asking me so many questions about these, so I did decide to get both of them, and I figured we could just compare them, you know, on each cheek so you guys can see the difference between the powder formula and the liquid formula. I am going to start off with the powder formula. Many of you know I'm very fond of the Dior Forever Couture Luminizers. I have these in most of the shades, so I feel like I am pretty well equipped to speak about them. This one is 003 Lilacmania, and this is going to be limited edition, just like the eyeshadow palette. I think I forgot to mention that. These are very, very smooth, except for the pearl shade. That's the only one that's like kind of chunky and sparkly. These are pretty smooth, and I'm curious to see what this lilac tone looks like on my skin tone. And by the way, I did not apply any blush, just a little bit of that bronzer, because I don't know, I just wanted like a blank canvas for us to see. Okay, I definitely see the lilac tone. Let me put a little bit more on. I'll probably put maybe a little bit too much just so we can really see it. Ooh, I think that's nice. When I take a look at the swatch as well, the formula looks very smooth, not glittery at all, very similar to the other shades that are in the line. And I also compared the ingredients between this product and, once again, the shades that are in the main line, and I didn't really see much of a difference. So I don't think that this is reformulated or anything like that, in case you are wondering. Oh, and also this does have a very strong fragrance, and it is talc free. It looks very smooth. Now, I think if you have a more golden complexion, or if you are more on like the tan to deep skin tone, the problem with the lilac tones is that they do look very ashy, because it's just such a cool tone, even compared to like the pink color in the range. So while I think it looks very nice on my fair skin tone, I don't think it's gonna be for everybody. I think, unfortunately, it is gonna look ashy. I kind of wish that they had brought out 2 colors, maybe something that was a little more rosy or bronze or something like that, because the lilac is very limiting. It's a cool color, it's like fun to play with sometimes, but it's very limiting. And then next we have the Dior Forever Glow Maximizer, and this is in the shade Lilac. It doesn't say on the box or on this component that this is limited edition, so if you have any information about that, please leave me a comment down below. It doesn't say limited edition. And if you're not familiar with this product, I do have a full review of several of the shades from the permanent line. This is a really beautiful, natural, hydrating liquid luminizer. I really like how fresh these look on the face. I have them, like I said, in a couple of the shades, and this is what the lilac shade looks like. Now, I'm a little skeptical of this one, because this color, this shade lilac, looks a lot more glittery than the other ones that I have in my collection. I'll show you a side-by-side here of the lilac and the pink shade. Do you see what I mean? The lilac looks so much more glittery than the pink shade, which is more of just like a soft, you know, metallic, a soft illumination. So let's see how this looks on my cheeks. I'm using the new BK Beauty 115. So let's see how this looks. I feel like I need a little bit more. It is gonna be a little bit more sheer because it is a liquid formula. I like to apply this to the back of my hand as opposed to right onto the face, because sometimes it disturbs my foundation, and I just feel like I get the best blend when I do that. So I am gonna add a little bit more there. It actually looks a lot better than I thought it was gonna be. I was kind of expecting to hate it. I think this looks really pretty and fresh. Let me get real close. What do you think? Do you think that would emphasize texture? Because it is a liquid formula, so it has that kind of hydrated look. But if you're not a fan of sparkle, I would recommend going with one of the shades from the main line, or we'll do a little side by side, go for the powder. If I had to choose between them, I would personally choose the powder. I like that better. Like, I don't really want this subtle sparkle that you see right here. I rather just get like the beautiful, smooth, illuminating finish, see that, of the powder. But it's all up to you. It's all, you know, personal preference. I don't think that this is a bad product. I just, if I had to spend my money wisely, which I like to, I would go for the powder. Okay, so final side by side. This is the powder. And then this is the cream. I didn't get any of the lip products from this collection. The lip maximizers are some of my favorites and they looked absolutely beautiful, but because the colors are quite sheer, if you have a couple of them, I don't think it's worth having, you know, like 5 or 6 in your collection. But I did get a little free gift. I did get this little mini maximizer as a part of, I don't know, it was just like a free gift on the Dior website. So I was like, you know what? I'll apply a little bit of this just to finish up this look that I got going on today. Okay, let's take off the headband. This is the final look. What do we think? What do we think? I do need a little bit of blush. I'm gonna add that right after this video. But otherwise, I think that this looks absolutely stunning. I love the finish of the foundation. I really like the eyeshadow palette. I think it's beautiful. I don't think it's anything super unique, but I do think it is a good quality, very pretty pastel palette for the spring. And then I think the luminizers are good as well, especially the Couture Powder Luminizer. If I could only purchase one item from this collection, it definitely would be the Powder Luminizer. I think they did a really nice job making this smooth, soft, ethereal, brightening. I really like this. I don't have anything else like this in my collection. Overall, I don't have any complaints with this makeup today. So good job, Dior. Comment down below and let me know, what do you think of this collection from Dior Beauty? I would love to hear all of your thoughts. And if you like this video, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. And better yet, go watch another video. Right here, I will have linked my guide to the 5 best and 5 worst products from Dior Beauty. I'll see you there.